work for money. I've been wanting to work for things that I want to learn and do. I don't want to work for money for survival. So that's what and luckily I had a privilege of my husband providing for the family. So I didn't have to really provide for family at that time. I just wanted to provide for my own needs for learning or doing theater or doing any other pursuing, traveling maybe, going to art jams and other kind of learning spaces. So um and then looking at the business part of it, I was not interested really to sell anything. That's the time when I met my partner and co-founder right now, who's Arun, who's working with natural dyed fabrics. So till then, I did not know that our fabrics have chemicals in them. And I did not know that there's something called natural dyes. I mean, and I'm sure that most of us don't have that idea. Maybe today is a little more popular, so people have some idea, but I'm talking about 15 years back. So only I think organic food was something that people related to. So when I found about this seemed very interesting to me and I was quite intrigued. So the first thing for me as a person, I can only work for something if I'm interested in it. Otherwise, I can't. So I got talking with this person and I tried to understand what is he doing and whatever. And then his journey and his story really hooked me on to find out more about it. So my co-founder story was that he was in Ahmedabad, which is a place where a lot of textile dyeing and processing happens. The textiles are made in Ahmedabad. It's like the Manchester of India, and it's very polluted. Especially the water is very polluted. So he was disturbed by this, and he used to recycle the waste of textile industry for some time. And then he found that every other company is again creating a lot of waste. So he thought that how do we not create waste after a textile is made? And so he found that the dyes are the most polluting part in an industry. So why not have an alternative solution for clean dyes in that process, in that step? And that took him to find out how can it be a clean dye. So I don't know how many of you know, but chemical dyes or the normal dyes that we are wearing right now comes from petroleum. All the byproducts of petroleum are used to make dyes. And some 8,000 to 12,000 chemicals are used in any textile industry. So the thing is that petroleum as a product cannot be really cleaned and the process cannot be made clean. So he was looking at an alternative and he got to know about natural dyes. And when he got to know about natural dyes, he started working on it and he wanted to learn from various dyers, which was already very less. So natural dye was already 15, 20 years. His journey started 21 years back. So at that time, to find a natural dyer was very difficult because already chemical dyes have been very popular. So wherever he used to go, he used to tell them to teach, and mostly people were not ready to teach because traditional natural dyers will probably only teach their children or their legacy or their family. They don't teach outsiders. So it was difficult, and still he found some people who were ready to teach, and then he started learning from them. But his idea was always to go into industrial to provide a solution for textile industries, not just handicraft. So normally natural dyeing is known as a handcraft or which some handicraft people do. It's never connected to industry. So his vision was at that time, and at that time nobody was doing industrial level natural dyeing. His vision was to take this process and make it suitable so that industries can use, because industries are the places where pollution happens maximum. Handicraft people would be making maybe maximum 100 meters in a month, but industries can make up to 1,000, 10,000 meters in a day. So that's the kind of pollution that comes out of it. So the need for my co-founder to get into this was not the love for natural dyes as much it was the love for water and to find a solution for the pollution in textiles. And his love for natural dye really grew from doing it, not about listening from it. So when he told the natural dyer that I want to take this solution to industry, the dyer was very upset and he stopped teaching the next day. He said, no, you can't take it out of handicraft. So these are some, I think, mindsets that you come across when you want to do something. People have done certain things in certain way. Natural dyers is been practiced by dying people still in the same way it was done earlier. Maybe it's become less tedious, or I mean, they don't do so many processes, but it's still mostly done in the same way. So people have not really wanted to change the process, or not many have thought of changing the process, or evolving from it or whatever. So there was this person here, my co-founder, who wanted to evolve this process. So that's how his journey started. And then it's a long journey about how he started doing his own experiments without any teacher. He started whatever he had learned, he applied and he used his mind. He's not a chemistry person. He's not a textile person. He's not studied textile at all, nothing. He learned everything because he was very passionate about, and not just passionate, very driven to find a solution. That was all that he could think of. And because he's not had a formal education, also he skipped a lot of classes. He used to be in Indonesia as a child without a school. So he has some background of not being rigid in his this thing thinking. So he found a way, and that's like the story of 15, 20 years. And When I heard all this story about what he's doing and what he's done, I was very fascinated. And I thought that, okay, nobody knows about this. I want to be the person who supports this person who's doing it. And I want to take his work to people. Like, I want to help him so that this work can go to more people. That was my intention when I joined him. With that, I started, and what I already knew, the skill sets that I had was designing my own clothes. I never designed for other people, but I used to love designing for myself. And somehow we all have a certain skill that we already have. Like, somehow we picked up by looking at the eye. I have not taken a formal design training. I don't know really how to stitch clothes, but somehow styling and designing was developed by my eye only, by just looking at and my interest level. So the thing is that if you want to learn something, you don't have to do a formal training. Formal training definitely helps a lot to get the skill sets. But the talent is definitely from your interest, and you pick up and you learn from wherever you go, whatever you see. That was how I had learned. So I used that talent and I started making some clothes for people and for myself in natural dyed clothing. And that was like 13 years back. After that, slowly, I stopped wearing chemical dyes completely. So today, 365 days in a year, I'm wearing natural dyed clothing. Okay, maybe 363 days, maybe 2 days I wear my old saris or whatever that is there. But mostly I'm wearing that. And that's been a journey. So when I started wearing it, I really enjoyed it. So for me, I entered into national dye not because it was a good way to do business, because it is something good to do. Definitely those things mattered to me, but also because I really enjoyed it. And I didn't feel the need to wear chemical dyes clothes anymore. It was my choice. So once I started wearing and designing all of that, and that's how I started getting into this. And then when I took this to people, I understood that not everybody is thinking like me. And people would find it very dull. They would say that if it will fade, then it's a problem. And they would say that it is not bright then, and whatever, many reasons. So then I understood that I need to focus more on designing it very well. So I really worked on designing interesting things for people. And I would mostly make custom clothing for people. So that really gave them a lot of joy and they like to wear it. And then I also understood that when I'm telling people that it's natural dyed, it's a word for them. They've never seen it happen. They don't know the process. They have no muscle memory of it. Because it's not easy to find natural dyeing as such. Then I thought that, okay, and this has all been my like a creative journey of finding out what is happening, how's the market responding, and what I need to do next. This is not a set pattern I followed from anyone. It was things that I found at every step, and then I took the next step. So uh, I found that they don't have a muscle memory and people don't really understand what I'm saying about natural dyeing and whatever. So I told my co-founder, can we do some workshops I want to learn from you also, and I want to show the process to people. Can we have people learn it? So that's how we started. I started designing some workshops, and I would call my co-founder. And while he was teaching, I also learned. And then we started doing these workshops that people would come and dye and they would do it themselves. That triggered a lot of association about natural dye. And also, people started knowing me as a person who does natural dyeing. And in Kolkata, when people used to look for any sustainable thing, people would automatically refer to me because in their mind, they had seen me do this work all the time. And I have been doing this consistently for 13 years now. So, which means that I did not do chemical dye clothing. I only did natural dye clothing. That's why people could identify. And also, I think there was no greenwashing, I would say. So still there were very, very few takers. This field has been very niche. So at many times I thought of quitting because I thought that here I came in for financial stability, but I'm not able to actually make money because you have to explain, you don't have many people who know about it. Not everybody wants it. So it's very difficult market, you know. And I didn't have a lot of money to invest to grow my business and do advertising. I never had that money. It was because I wanted to do it independently. That was my thing. So I would just collaborate with people and just do creative things to, to tell people about what this is. And that did work for me because in Kolkata, after a certain point of time, everybody kind of knew natural dyeing means you have to go to Namrata. That was only because I stuck to something and I was constantly working with it and I was constantly going to participating, collaborating with artists, events to do this. I was not really thinking about business in a vertical term. So I think the adults here will understand what I'm trying to say. I worked in a very horizontal manner. So I would collaborate, I would do some fashion show for someone, or I would make clothes for someone. I would do different kinds of activities, which made me engage with people and it built association about the work. Vertical would mean that I made a collection and then I made many pieces of it and then I sold it. And didn't do any of these other things. So you can either do horizontal or you can do vertical. Or if you want to do both, you need to have money, team, many things. I was a single member team and I just had one helper with me. So that's how I did. So I did not grow vertical. I chose to be horizontal and I enjoyed that because I also get bored if I have to just do repeat one thing after the other and just make more pieces of one thing. I think that was not my interest area. So I realized it more that I'm not that person. While doing all of this, I realized that I really enjoyed when I explained people what this is and why we need to go into natural dyeing and what is the problem with synthetic dyeing. So then I found that actually my passion is education. And I felt that, I started doing clothes because that was a skill that I had. But if given a choice, I think many people can make brands, but not everybody wants to be an educator. So I thought that I want to be the educator who works with brands so that they can be sustainable and they make sustainable, clothing. And if I have my own brand only, then I cannot educate. I cannot because then having your own brand, it means like it's your baby and you cannot take care of other children if you have your own child who's growing up. Like it's difficult because your whole focus is on your child. So that was very clear to me. I didn't want to have my own baby. I wanted to actually make a lot of support a lot of children in this, or babies in this field, I would say. Then I slowly understood that, okay, fashion was very, very important. Like my fashion brand is called Biome Conscious Fashion, and there's an Instagram page about it. So I understood that fashion is really, really important because when I did fashion, it was an example for people to see that there is someone who is making natural dyed clothing. Till then, in Kolkata, we did not have anyone who was making natural dyed clothing. So sometimes you have to do certain things to show that it can be done because people have no reference, people have no background to believe in it, or to see it. So before I got into the process of teaching, I think it was important for me to practice of how it looks when we make it into clothing. Because I realized that you can't tell people to do something good if they're not going to feel good wearing something. So designing a good product is extremely important and designing something nicely is very important before you tell people that change your habit or do something. You have to give them something. So that's how yeah, that's how I actually thought that, this was, and Biome, a lot of people told me never stop Biome, because everybody who would meet me in this journey, who are my co-designers or who are people who are into fashion or anything else, or consumers also, they would, whenever they came, they maybe not bought from me all the time, but they really left a message for me that they're very happy that I'm doing this. They are not able to do this themselves, but they're so proud of me that I'm doing it. Like, I think people need an example all the time to see, and sometimes they may not be able to follow it for many reasons, and there's nothing wrong in it. But they also, when they see you doing something which is you've taken a step alone, and you're doing something which is probably healthy for environment, yourself, or whatever, or it's an example, they feel happy about it. And I got a lot of love from people. I did not get so much money from selling clothes, but I got a lot of love from people and appreciation. And I saw that it's that being an example has been a very, very important achievement in this journey. I have been smart and I have been creative, and I've been able to sustain my expenses of running Biome with my own work. So I did not take money from anyone. I used to get money and then put in the business again. So it was a very small business, but it was very satisfying because, yeah, all of these things were happening.
What would be
But
the spelling for brand buying?
Biome. Biome word actually means an environment where everything is natural. So our Earth is actually a biome, and all the like the stratosphere, atmosphere, Earth, like all three kinds of that spaces together are called biome. Like if you have lithosphere, atmosphere, everything together is called biome. This was a name given by my son, who was, I think, 12, 13 years at that time. He gave this name. So that's how I kept. So it's called biome conscious fashion. Conscious is also very importantly chosen in the name, because I think when you come into sustainability, you want to raise your consciousness from a consumer to a conscious consumer. So you have to expand your consciousness. So that's why biome conscious fashion. And fashion is great. I mean, I don't think that everyone loves fashion, even though it's very polluting. I think there's nothing wrong with fashion as such, if we can keep it clean. So yeah, that's how I chose to come from Biome. Then I also spoke to my co-founder Arun, from whom I would take fabrics and I would make clothes. And his company was something else at that time. And we spoke about it, and he also saw my journey. So when you start working on something, people need to see you work on something to believe in what you're saying and what you're following. I think if you only give words to people, they are not confident enough to take a step with you. But if you actually follow it, then there's a proof of concept. And that you need to build to be able to, and you need to put your skin in the game. Till you're talking about something, you're not really doing it. It's not, I don't think that it has an impact. Neither will you feel that impact actually. So putting the skin into game is that I am going out in the market and selling it. I think that requires a lot of courage. To be able to only do it for yourself is a different journey. To be able to do it for a hobby is a different journey. And to be able to talk about it, that you should do this, is a different journey. But to be able to take it, work with it, and then go out and stand in the marketplace and sell it, and listen to all the people who don't want to buy or who complain or whatever other things, and then to keep standing there in the market every day. You stand there, nobody buys. Second day, maybe one person buys. Third day, maybe two buy. Fourth day, nobody buys again. This happens a lot when you're doing this kind of thing, because when you're doing something new, this is very normal to happen. So standing there and not giving up, I think that requires courage, and also it shows whether you're really interested in it. So 13 years back, I started this. Until now, I'm only doing this. I have not ever actually given up, even though thoughts came that I should probably do something else, because what am I doing? I went back and I thought I wanted to earn money. And now what am I doing? Like, I'm barely sustaining myself. But then I rechecked everything and I saw that it gives me happiness. With money, what am I going to buy actually? Or what am I going to do? So I also changed my lifestyle a lot in all of these years of working. I consciously kept my expenses very low. I did not go out to coffee meets with my friends because I could not spend so much money. I would rather put that money in my work, but I would meet my friends. So I'm just giving a very simple example. Also, I did not invest in branded clothes, and I was okay with it. Like, I was very confident. When you're doing something you believe in, you also feel very confident, and that confidence adds the glow to you, I think, more than anything else. And I was very happy in what I was doing. So I kept my overheads very low. I did not employ many people. And then I used to whatever different things I tried. I tried barter also with some people. Like I was for a long time, I didn't have too much money to pay rent. So I would work in a maker space which belonged to my sister. And in return for it, instead of paying her rent, I would do some services and support her in her work. So I found barter very interesting. If you can give a service to someone and you can receive a service in return, that's a very interesting thing. Or if you can give a good in and you can receive another good in return, which I've also done with another friend of mine. So there's this friend of mine who is an organic farmer, and he's from Udaipur, and he had his friend's sister's wedding, and he said, I want to make clothes, at least one garment for every family member in natural dye. And because I've been in sustainable field, I know that money is not a very available resource. It's difficult to earn money because it's not a regular product. So I thought instead of asking money from him when I design the clothes, I'm going to ask him for organic food. So I made clothes for him, and for that amount of clothes, I asked him to give me organic food and grains and everything in return. So these are kind of things that I found because I have been doing a sustainable journey. I can respect other sustainable people's money also. I feel like, barter could be an interesting thing with them. So all this is what I have been doing like all these years. And yeah, uh, I guess that's what the journey with fashion was. And then Arun, my partner, was there. He actually saw my journey, and by the time, so he's been an entrepreneur and he works with brands and he does dyeing for bigger brands. He's not a small this thing. He's a little industrial level person. So he said that, what you're doing is something I feel is a gap in my work also, because when I give things to brands, they don't understand and everything backfires because there's a lot of misunderstanding. Why this happens is because none of the textile colleges or the design colleges or any curriculum who educates a designer has natural dyeing in their curriculum. So when you've not learnt about it and then you start working with it, definitely you don't know the language of natural dye and you start expecting that this should behave like a chemical dye fabric. And so a lot of people are not able to work with natural dye because their training is like this in fashion, that everything has to be perfect and this shade has to match and this shade cannot change. Now, when you work with a natural dye product, you cannot come with a demand. You need to come with flexibility and you need to come in with creativity. Whatever you can find, because of whatever reason the shade came out to be this, you have to be creative enough to use that shade. You can't say, no, I can't use this. I need my particular shade. That nature doesn't listen to demands. So that's something which I mean, when I reflected upon what was happening, I saw we both of us felt that there is a great need to not just educate the consumers, but also to educate the brands and designers to be able to get into this. So it's not that the brands don't have an intention in place. They do want to make natural light clothing, maybe. Mostly, a lot of people now want to, but because their mindset is so fixed by whatever they learn in colleges and curriculums and all of that, they're not able to accept it. So we thought that we should start some educational program and space together. That's how we started Color Ashram together 5, 6 years back. We started this in Goa. So Goa was a very neutral place. It's a very tolerant space. It has a multi pot of different kinds of cultures coming in. So it was a nice thing to experiment there with this. So Color Ashram started in Goa and we ran it for 3 years there. It was a very interesting journey in Goa because there were these lot of foreigners and there were all kinds of people who have when you're in Goa, your mindset is little more different than when you're in a city because the lifestyle is not very fast and you're not competing. You are open to listening and understanding different kinds of things. So we had a lot of people who used to come to us, they used to stay with us and they used to do workshops and all of that. And then COVID happened and we could not afford to stay in Goa because the income had gone down. People were not able to come. So we then traveled back to Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is the place where my co-founder's factory and his work has been for the last 21 years. So his team was there. And so we thought, okay, we won't have to pay rent if we start from there. That's how we shifted to Ahmedabad. And then we started working from there. And after that, and we've learned a lot of things while we were doing Color Ashram. First, we would go out and tell people that, do natural dyeing and all of that. And that was very energy taking. And it was very difficult to sustain because people would not be, they would say that they want to do. We met, like, if we would speak to 100 people who were interested, 2 or 3 people would end up in a workshop. And out of that, one person would actually continue something. It's always been like that. Many people come with a fantasy, with an idea, with ideas. I'm like, I have now a relationship with that ideas that, ideas are only good if you execute them or you can execute them. Otherwise, I think ideas, you can keep it to yourself. Give an idea if you know how to execute it or you yourself are ready to execute it. Nobody needs
So,
ideas. I think we
Namrata,
need.
what has been the most biggest obstacle in people not being able to understand or not being able to join or not being able to even buy the sustainable products? Or what is the biggest thing that doesn't allow them to do?
I think the biggest thing is mindset because it's a very new thing. Like we take so many things for granted. Like so suppose you're wearing a green color. How nobody has to teach you or explain anybody else what green is. Because green color has been established so well, this particular green and the language of textiles in so many years. We have subconsciously learned so many things. But today, if I teach you that this is a different kind of a green or whatever new thing I'm introducing, then that takes a lot of effort to learn the new thing. And you don't know whether you want to believe it or not. And you don't know why you should go for this green and not the regular green. So I think, and the people who make this green color also, they don't understand why they should learn to make another kind of green because this is easy. Chemical dyeing is easy. They know how to do chemical dyes. Why should they learn something which is going to be a new learning and something which you have to understand how to wash it? Because natural dyed clothing, you have to take care of them. Chemical dyed clothing, you can abuse. You can, and polyester clothing, you can even abuse more. Even if you throw them, do whatever with them, nothing will happen to them because they are plastics. Chemical dyed clothing, little more. You can still use Surf Excel and bleach and everything, and it works. Natural dyed clothing, even though it fades also, but natural dyed clothing are delicate colors. You need to take care of them. You can't put surf and chemicals on them because they are not from chemical. Who will teach all this? Your school has not taught. Your government has not taught. There are no corporate brands who are teaching you about Coke or White or whatever. I mean, brands teach us a lot, right? We are constantly learning from it. So nobody is teaching you. So you don't know. And now I am coming and telling you, you buy this and you have to do this special washing and whatever, take care of it. Or you have, this is why this color can't be dark is because it's natural dye. So the brands who are making, they are like, why do we need to do so much hard work when already my other green is selling so well? So people don't want to do. Consumers are actually ready, I would say. People, if they come to know, some of them are ready to understand and do it, but then they want different sizes, different qualities, different varieties. Now imagine, like in the world, how many textile companies, or let's imagine in India, how many textile companies are there? Just let's take a guess. 1 million, maybe, definitely, from small to big. Everybody, there's like every nook and corner has some person who makes textiles. Now that 1 million companies have given so much of variety to public. so much shape, sizes, whatever. And now look at natural dye. Natural dye is probably not even 1% of this 1 million. It's not, the industry is not even 1% right now. So it is like a very small number of people who are making natural dye clothing. Now they cannot give you that variety that you're used to. You're used to seeing 100 million ideas on fabrics. And I'm telling you, I can show you 10 ideas on fabric. Obviously, the consumer will move towards this. Obviously, the young designer who comes from a college will move towards this, because here you have challenges of something new, something that you have to learn again, something that you have to unlearn about chemical dyes. So those things make the habits make it very difficult to change.
Also, is
And
it the costing or pricing also makes it very difficult for consumers to get into?
so that is not true. It is more a myth in our minds. When you buy a t-shirt from Nike, how much do you pay? 2000, 1500, 2000, whatever. You're paying that for a polyester t-shirt. If you want to buy a natural dye t-shirt, you have to pay 1000 rupees. So actually, people do have buying power and they do pay money. But now when you compare it to a street, or let's say even an H&M clothing, let's say, that's very cheap. Now, the thing is that if you compare an apple to an apple, then it's not expensive actually. But if you compare it with we do different things. Like H&M is fast fashion, it's different kind of clothing. And then you compare it with natural like clothing, it's not the same. So that perception is there. If and normally we are very happy and proud if we can get a good deal in shopping. That's how we feel proud about. That mentality has to change, because the cheaper the clothing you're buying, the more exploitation of resources and of people has been done. uh, you have to pay the actual price of a garment. So natural dyed clothing is expensive because the actual price of the garment is also put into it. But also there's a factor that because the demand is so less, the supply is very expensive. If today a lot of people start buying, the cost is going to come down. It has come down for everything. Computers were very expensive at one point of time, but when computers became popular, the price has gone down so much. Now you can also buy a phone for 1000 rupees also, but earlier the phone was not so. So this is a demand supply purely thing. Making wise, chemical dye is actually more expensive than natural dye. But because there is no ecosystem right now for natural dye brand to function, like to get, like they have only few companies where they can buy dyes from, like everything is less. The thing is, when something becomes popular, it automatically becomes cheaper and affordable also. And also when more people know about it, to how to make clothes more. So there are these lot of things which are there, but mostly it's got to do with laziness. People don't want to change. And it's a lot of, they don't want to do any hard work. They want life to be easier and easier. So easy is not something you can completely connect with natural dye right now, because it's new. Everything is new in the learning and everything. Yeah, and second thing is that you have been trained for certain kind of colors. So the fashion tells you this bright yellow is good, this fluorescent green is good. And so, and you follow the leaders. That's also one very important thing. Till the leaders come up with natural dye. If today Amitabh Bachchan starts wearing natural dye clothing, I think natural dye clothing will become popular. If we can wear torn jeans and say that it is cool, why can't we wear something which fades? Or which will change its life. I mean, I think everything can be made cool by the fashion, divas or whatever you call them up there. So I think to change the masses is going to be difficult, because the price point, variety, why explaining all of this. But I think if, I mean, I feel like it has to be a top-down approach also. We need to have people who have influence, because these are, clothing is something you go by influence. You go by following something. It's a trend. It's more trend based. Uh, but that doesn't mean that maybe your community of people who are watching today, they may not face those things. I'm talking, these are more problems of people who are like, for example, if you talk about open learning, how do you feel when you explain other people? The same thing, I think, similar kind of thing. But yet I feel that there is a scope, because the world itself is telling everybody that you have to go sustainable. So all the big companies in their postponed plans, they have to go sustainable, but they're not doing it today because they have time. They can say, okay, I'll do it in 2030, in 2040, in 2050, or whatever. They'll keep shifting. But they have been told that you have to be sustainable. So this is the truth because we have brands like Decathlon, we have brands like Victoria's Secrets, we have brands like Nike. They're all coming to us and they're saying they want to do natural dyeing. Why are these brands coming is because big companies have to think in lot of future terms also. So in their future, they will need to have a sustainable thing. So it's a visionary way of dressing up right now. But for people who already know it, like maybe for your community, it's a cakewalk. You can absolutely start wearing and doing natural dyeing from today itself because you don't need to be convinced. So yeah, it is a work in progress, I would say. Yeah.
So, yeah, I would ask people, all of you, to just ask your questions or maybe line up your questions in chat if you want to. And
Yeah,
till
and I'll
then,
I'll also just tell a little bit about what we do at Color Ashram.
yes,
So Color
yes.
Ashram now from Ahmedabad we shift. Stopped my story at Ahmedabad. From Ahmedabad we shifted to Mysore because me and my partner did not want to stay in a big city. We really feel there's no dignity of life in big cities. We had to do big city because otherwise you cannot do business. You have to go to, so I have actually, before coming to Mysore also, I went to Bangalore and I did lot of work there for people to know me because you need to be found out. So we have done work in Ahmedabad, we've done work in Bangalore, but we chose to come to Mysore to stay because personally, I don't want to live in a place where there's no dignity of life. Mysore is a smaller, greener, less crazy place. I am not able to go in a forest or a village yet because I need because I'm doing a business. I need a lot of connectivity and everything. So I found a balance somewhere and I'm here. So this space is a huge space in Mysore. Maybe after our question answer, I'll take you around and show you the place. And we call it Natural Color Training Academy. So if anybody, whether it's a child, right now also a child is actually doing a class, one of your Aarohi students, she's doing a class here. So a child can learn how to learn about natural line from the beginning. An aspiring fashion designer, if they want to go sustainable, they can learn because no college teaches sustainability actually. And brands who are already working, they want to open a brand, they can come and learn. Industry or a artisan cluster, if they want to also switch from chemical to natural, they can also come. So from here to here, we have solutions of application for everyone. Not because we have learned all these things and we know it, because we are practicing it. So my partner is making thousands of meter in natural dye. I am making even one dress for a person when they come and give an order. So we are also practicing professionals who are teaching. So we don't have a theoretical knowledge only. We have a hands-on knowledge all the time. So that's what we do here. So anybody who wants to learn, they can contact us. And the other thing we do is once in a year, we do a city festival of natural colors in one new city. So our idea is to go to every city and give the public an idea about. So we ourselves training the public to see these colors, understand what this is, touch it, feel it. So we've done festival in Bangalore, Pune, and Ahmedabad. And we hope to
When are
do
you
in other
coming to Mumbai?
cities. Yeah, whenever we were thinking of next year. So yeah, so the thing is that we need support system to create a festival somewhere when we travel. So wherever we find this support, we are happy to go. For us, it has to be a new city every time. Yeah.
I have seen your artifact or something in Kalagoda festival from
Yes, yes.
Color
Oh,
Ashram. It was
nice.
put.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we have seen that. So I was
that's
like very
nice.
happy that yes, I could connect to it. So
Yeah,
it will be
yeah.
really nice if you could do it next in Mumbai. We'll be
Sure,
if support
sure.
wise, if I can do anything, I'll be
Yeah,
happily doing
yeah,
it,
yeah.
whatever,
I'm very,
whichever
very
way you
happy to
want.
know that. Yeah, yeah. That's the
Yes.
reason we want to be in public places because right now, more than converting people to natural light, we just need to show people what natural colors are like because only if they see it can they actually think about it also. So, yeah. Yeah. Now you can
I have a
shoot
question.
questions to me.
Question. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Mishti.
yeah. Hi. So,
Hi.
you were saying that definitely people like are not very like known, or they don't know much about uh, sustainability and all. But when you kind of see a person learning at color ashram, and or when you see a person kind of going through the courses, what do you think, or what are you wondering maybe at that time when you see that people
Mm,
are coming in?
yeah. Earlier, when I started off, I used to be very happy to get students. I used to feel obliged that, okay, somebody has come and they want to learn about this. I used to feel thankful that for that person. Uh, Now, down the years, I have started to understand that people come with fascination, but they don't necessarily continue it. And it's a lot of, again, it's a new idea in their head also. So we try and see how far that person wants to go into it. So now it's more like a filtering. We give people few steps and then we hope that the person is serious enough to go into it. So yeah, I think, and we are not now completely excited with everybody who comes in. I mean, we are happy. We are still very happy, but we know that okay, this person will first take a step. We were waiting for the person to take the next step. Then we really believe that okay, this person has some potential to do something or wants to do. Then the second step, third step, and then to continue the next steps, we want to be there to help you, nurture you, because it's not an easy journey, but we don't want to start helping the person who's come with an idea, because that's like spending energy on someone who's not even sure of themselves. So many people are not sure. We try to, now we are backing out and giving the person some chance to show if they are sure, if they have the courage to really do it. And then if they do it, we are very happy to respond back. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Uh,
you.
on that note of learning, number of times in your previous talk, you were just sharing that even your co-founder, he is not um, um, by certificate he is not educated in that stream, and whereas even you are not, but you have chosen this path because this calls you, this there's some passion, there's some love for it. That's why you've chosen it, and now you're pursuing it full-fledgedly. So just want you to share something which are open learners who are also going by their love for some interest or something. What would you like to kind of advise them?
Yeah, so I think one thing is that my passion is there, but there has been no effort in making this choice. That is a big point of identification. When to choose a certain thing, if you don't have to make an effort, that's the correct thing for you. Because you can put effort in making it viable or whatever those things are, or doing it every day. But to make the choice, you should not be putting effort. You should not be trying to explain yourself why you're doing it. It is so clear in your head that nothing can change the thought anymore. It has to be completely logically very understood. Like if I know that water is very dirty, I'm not going to drink it. Uh, that simple thing that I've understood. Whatever you do, however you package, I'm not going to drink it because my understanding is very clear. So I think you need to check if you are listening to someone else and you're influenced by it, or you've heard something somewhere that naturalize a new future or whatever that is, and that's why you're interested in it, or you want to start wearing and you don't want and you feel that this is something where you can which makes complete sense to you, without an effort. So no effort, no influence. You need to remove all those things and see. And for that, I think only if you see yourself taking a step into it, you'll understand.
So basically, you're saying that doing it yourself will help you to understand that are you really interested in it.
Yes, that is for sure. That is for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
uh
Questions? Yeah.
One more question. I
Yeah.
mean, since I don't know, I just feel like this is a general, also in many other fields also, I think that many times it's like, oh, people don't even know about this. Like I do a sport and I feel like people don't even know about this sport. So what's the point? Like finally, if some not like that, but little bit I'm like, why don't people know about this? And I need to make people know about this, that kind of feeling. So when you get that feeling, how what are you thinking? Maybe you start thinking of like I should market it a bit more, or like immediately what are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I think, yeah. So we have been, I empathize with people who don't know about it. So I feel that people, everybody should get a chance to know. So my first part of my journey, let's say first 10 years of my journey, has not been about selling this to people or making people buy it or influence them. My first 10 years of the journey has been to go and work with everyone to let them know about it. Even the people I thought that they would never change or whatever, I'm not judging people at that time at all. I just want to give one chance to tell everyone what this is. So in that, I have really gone and explored and met people. I have done all the footwork of reaching out to people. Now, when after I've done that, now after 10 years, I have now found my space, and I'm saying now, whoever wants will find me and come to me. I'm not going to go out and tell them anymore. But having said that, we have made a website. We've made a form which you can fill up and answer. And when people call us or they write to us, I tell my team and ourselves that we have to answer and respond to people. So you also have to be available to interact with people, because it's new, people ask a lot of things before they actually want to do something. So we have to answer those things for people, and we have to explain them, we have to connect to them. It takes a lot more effort than selling a Pepsi or a Coke or a H&M, I would say. Yeah. So I have been smart and I've collaborated a lot, and I've just done things not for money, just to have platform to meet people, to tell people. And I have also taken testimonials of people, and I've told them that please give me your video, because the thing is, you are young enough. I don't know if you know about stock market. What is a stock market? Yeah.
It's like, hmm, I know.
A little bit, maybe. So, but I'll still give the example. So, stock market is a place where a company sells very high price, not because it's a very good company, because the perception that it's a very good company is there. Stock market runs on emotion. If they see Amitabh Bachchan buying a stock, they will all go and buy the stock. They will not check if the company is good also. Okay. So our markets are something like that. It works on perception. It works on, emotions and all of that. So what I was trying to say is that natural dye, because such few people know and speak about it. Most people don't have confidence in it. Most people don't even know about it. So it's very important. If you know something is very less, maybe you're not working with natural dye, but you know that natural dye needs a voice. It needs all of us to talk about it in any platform wherever needed. When people see and hear, like let's say today you start hearing a lot of people speaking about natural dye, you will automatically start believing that natural dye is valid, it's popular, maybe it's good, and you start believing in it. What we need first is the confidence in natural dyes. What we need is many people to talk about it. So talking about and sharing is the most important thing for creating awareness. Yeah.
Um, Aparna here, one of our open learners, she is into
Yeah.
natural homemaking or natural construction or something. So,
Yeah.
Aparna, do you have anything to ask or share with Namrata?
Yeah, it's more about like the usage of the clothes. So, is there any specific set of instructions or something which we have to follow while we use natural
Yeah.
dyed
Yeah,
clothes?
you have to. Yeah, you have to. So dyeing itself, textile dyeing, is a very technical process. Okay, so whether it's chemical dye or it's natural dye, it is a technical process. You have to choose a particular kind of fabric. You have to see what affinity it has with the dye. You have to clean it first. Then you have to apply proper fixers so that it fixes. A lot of things are there. It's a proper technical skill that you need to achieve. So it doesn't say that you can just do anything. You have to learn those skills. Yeah. And
So maybe
mostly natural
maintain.
dyes
And
are
for your
meant
color
for,
proportions,
sorry,
yeah, go
what?
ahead.
No, no, you go ahead. Tell me.
No, no, you can go ahead.
I was saying that natural dyeing is meant for natural textiles, not for polyester. So any plastic-based clothing is not good for natural dyes. I mean, they will not absorb well also, and it's not meant for it. So yeah.
And to get the colors, like you do natural dyeing, but to get those colors, do you have some kind of proportions which you follow? On what
Um,
basis you create these colors?
Again, learning, there are two things in natural dyeing. One is making colors. Second is applying colors. Applying colors, everybody can learn. Making colors and getting the right proportion is a lifetime journey. It's a journey of a master craftsman, artist, master dyer, whatever you call it. It's not everybody's journey. You have to give lot of time and years of experience to make your own dyes. But you can take the dyes which have been made by some people and you can start using it, or you can use it for yourself. Applying is easier than making of dyes. So, making dyes requires a certain sense of commitment to the natural dye field. You can't be doing a lot of things and then at the side you want to do natural dye sometimes. No, you need a constant study, and it's a science, it's an art, it's a dedicated thing. Just like you would learn singing or cooking or dancing, you need to learn natural dyeing that way. Yeah.
On that note of
I have a
Devashish, you have a question?
Yeah.
Uh,
So recently, we had gone to a natural dyeing workshop. So I really enjoyed it, and we got some like packets of natural dye. So, is there like we're new to it? So is there are there a few pointers before we get into it?
You got natural dye sources or powders?
We got the powders. So,
Powders. What are they? Are they like, can you name me one powder that you've got?
like I can tell you the colors.
Okay, colors you got. And
Yeah,
what
it's
about the fixer?
what?
So in natural dye, there are two things. One is you need a fixer or a mordant, we call it, and one you need the color. So you've got the color. What about the fixer? Do you have it?
I
That's also,
don't think so.
sometimes the color might have a fixer. So I don't know what kind of dye you've got. But so there are many ways of doing natural dyeing. So without knowing what the color is made up of, who is given you the color, you need to ask them for the instructions of how to use it. But if you just want to try out, you can just take the color, put it in water, heat it a little bit, and then take a fabric which is washed very nicely and put it inside this and dye it. That you can do anytime for experiments and fun. But if you really want to know if the color is going to stay and you want to learn properly, you need to know the instructions of doing it. Yeah.
So one thing which I understand is the fabric that we need to insert in the natural dye water would be something cotton or something very natural. It can't be a
It would
polyester or
be,
anything.
it can't be polyester, but it can be a blend also, and it can be a man-made natural fiber also. So we are also making a lot of fibers out of cellulose or other things or whatever. So any kind of sustainable fiber, natural based fiber, which is biodegradable, is okay to be used in natural dye. Anything that is absorbs water will absorb natural dye.
How was your experience? I mean, how are your doubts when you started first your like business, like this entire ashram? Like, how was your like doubts before you were like starting it?
Mm, I'm trying to remember if there was any doubt, because we started with a lot of enthusiasm and we wanted to do this. And when we started the ashram, I already had experience of what I was working with earlier. But so I started after doing biome for 10 years, then I started Color Ashram. But or I think 8 years. But if you ask me when I started biome, the first time I started, what was my doubt? I think everybody told me that this is not going to give you money. This is not sustainable. You want to send people on the moon. That's how they thought it was, and all of those things. But every person who said no was like more reinforcing for me that I want to do it. Like I didn't feel demotivated, because my enthusiasm and my motivation actually was didn't leave any space for doubt. I mean, I would make it happen. Anybody can make anything happen if they are driven for it. It doesn't matter at that time, even one person is not believing. But it has to be your drive. It cannot be a borrowed drive. It cannot be something you saw someone do and so you want to copy. Can't be that. You have to find that do you really love it and do you really want to do it. And many times you have to do a lot of things to find out, okay, this is not something which is you. So you might have to do those things. It's not that in one time you can find that out, but something that you don't give up is something that you can continue doing.
So it's like all about not giving up.
Yes, yes, because everything is possible to make it happen, everything. But you might have to be very creative about it. So, like for me, even today, I don't think of buying diamonds and branded cars or whatever. My lifestyle is also very simple, and I try to keep my overheads low. Also, if I want to have a lot of money, then I have to go in some other field. And I tell my students also, if you want to make quick money, lot of money, don't come to natural dye. Because in natural dye, you have to give a lot of yourself before you can start getting something back. So that only you can take that journey if it really satisfies you. Because doing natural dye satisfies us every single day. And then we make it happen. Because I need money to pay rent of my place, to electricity, to pay my salary to the people who are working. I need to buy raw materials. I need to do so many expenses. So I need money. I can't work on passion. So earning money is extremely important to be able to do what you like. And for that, I find creative ways of doing it. I try different things to market myself and work and whatever. But yeah, so but everything can work if you can really, and it's okay to take help from someone also if needed, which is a lesson I'm still learning, because I didn't want to take help from my family at all. And that made my journey very difficult. But you don't have to do the difficult journey. You can take help.
Okay.
Don't take help from anybody who's going to tell you what to do and not. You need to have your freedom to decide. Take help from people who will not say, I gave you money, now what you're doing with it, how much money came back, then you can't function. You have to tell people, give me the money and then forget about it. Let me try. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So
Thank you, Namrata. So on that note, we
I'll
can
just
have
show you
a quick
quickly the color ashram.
the color
Yeah, I'll
ashram.
just so I think I'm now on my laptop, so I'll just turn it around. So this is like the classroom space that we have. On the wall up there are all the artworks that have been done with natural colors. These are all paper artworks and fabric artworks. Not this one here. These are all paper artworks which are done with natural colors on paper. So this is like the classroom area, okay, where I was sitting and there was a blackboard there. And then this area here is a screen printing and block printing area. And then here is a laboratory and the dining area, which is like a kitchen and a restaurant. Like you can see these things. This is Jenny. She's doing her internship here. She's from Baroda. And this is like our dining area. All the lab equipments are there and everything. There's all of this blocks up on there. All of this. And this is our entrance. This is a board where we put up everything about our philosophy, what we do and everything. So when people come, we have this whole board explaining what we do. And then we come outside, there's a cafe here. There's one of your Aarohi students who's sitting. So this is a cafe area where people can eat and chill out and do their thing. And this wall here is also painted with natural colors, if you can see. This is what we have to say. I don't know if you can read it. It says, thousands have lived without love, not one without water. And this is our garden space. Yeah. That's out behind the kitchen and all of that. So, yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
That's
place.
super wonderful. Yeah. I really wish to visit Mysore
Wow.
for your
Sure.
color ashram. I've been listening
Sure,
about it
definitely.
from Ruchika and Rani quite a lot. And
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Preeti, for mentioning my name.
okay.
So,
So
anybody can just come to, if textile dyeing to work with is a technical thing. If you just want to learn and experience the dyeing for yourself only, that also you can do. Like you don't have to worry that you don't need to have any skills. You just need to have an interest to learn natural dyeing.
so is it like how they will Ashish was saying that he's brought some colors and he wants to know how to color it. So is there any kit or anything that you from
Yes.
your brand
Yes,
provide
yeah.
that?
So we have actually three levels of learning. The first learning is when you're just curious, you don't know whether you want to go serious into it or not. So for your curiosity, we have a DIY kit, do it yourself kit on our website. You can buy that kit. Inside there are all the materials. There's instruction video, there's a manual, everything is there. You can do it yourself. Then if you feel that you're serious and you want to go a little more deeper into it, you can do online training if you can't come. Because coming is expensive. You have to come here, you have to stay, you have to pay the fees and all of that. If you're not very sure, you can still do online workshop. Then if you are more serious, then you have to come for offline, which you have to come here, stay and learn. So those are the three levels, and you have
So
to
for all the
constantly
three
upgrade.
levels, sorry.
Yeah.
So for all the three levels, I would really want you to help us with your website where we can
Yes.
find those kits, where we can find the info that you're doing any online course, anything is floated and we want to know that. And
Yeah.
also your biome website, because I was trying to find a
Sure.
website. I found Instagram page, but I didn't
It's
find
in
the website.
website is in Kalrasham only. Can you give me access to open the thing? Like, can I show it here right now?
Yeah, yeah. You can have it.
I
I
can
can
have it.
share
Okay, so
screen.
I'll
Yeah.
share. I can share the screen. Okay. Yeah. So you can see my screen. Okay, 1 second. So you just type www.colorashram.com and it is COLOR. Okay. It's not COLOUR. Huh? So there are two ways how you can contact us. One is from Instagram, the other is from website. So when you go to our website, you see this is about, you can find about us. There is about us, about humans, people who have worked with us, about experience and all those things, about Color Revolution, cafe stuff. Then there's Color Festival if you want to find out about that. Then there is workshop. So if you click on workshop, also it says, if you click on workshop, there is here three things: DIY kits, offline and online. Okay. So you can click, suppose I click on DIY kits. Then it takes you to these kinds of all the kits which are there. You choose that kit and you purchase it from here and everything comes to you. Okay. And similarly for online and offline, you can also go and you can select there. Yeah. It comes up like this and the name of workshops are written. But after this also, we do a lot of custom workshops for people. Like whatever we've written is a standard workshop. But if you have a particular use, for example, you want to make bags out of learning after block printing, then you can say that I'm coming to learn block printing, but my objective is to make a bag after I learn. Then we redesign the module a little bit and we custom it so that you can make a bag out of it exactly. Or if you say that I want to start teaching, then we will redesign and we'll give you a model where you come for a teacher's training. Similarly, if you say you want to do a stole or you want to make your own dress or whatever that is, so we modify it. We do a lot of custom modification according to what you want to learn. So if you just click on any one of them, you can click and it mentions here the beginner level is this, online level may you learn this, offline level may you learn this. So it's described here. Then you go down and you select a level. So I chose beginner level. Then I quantity 1 and I add to my cart and I, fill up this and this product comes to me. Okay. But in DIY kit, you don't have anyone, sorry, yeah. In DIY kit, you don't have anyone talking to you. It's self-learning from whatever you're getting. In online, it is one-on-one learning. So the trainer will actually, in time, talk to you and give you, it's not a recorded video. It's a live class which is happening. And in offline, you get the maximum attention, which means me, our space, my team, everybody is there with you to help you learn. So and everything is
So
little unlimited here when you come.
yeah. So online, is it like a specific number of days or number of hours, or is it like
Yes,
um
yes, yeah. When you click online, then you will find here, it's written, this is an online workshop. It will be 3 sessions up to 40 minutes each, and you can schedule it according to your time and convenience. And it will cover this. And for choosing materials, you can go to the color shop. Now, I'll click on the color shop and it will take me to the materials which you will need for buying that, to do that workshop. Now, similarly, there is a thing called shop. In the shop, there are these lot of things. There's a color shop where you will get dyes and any dye products. RFT fabrics means that it is ready for dye fabrics. So after you learn dyeing, you need a special clean fabric to dye it. You know, we do a special RFT process. Then there are garments that you can buy and dye. We have a lot of white things that you can buy and start dyeing. Then there are gifts and accessories, there's DIY kits, there's cut pieces, services. You can also order us to dye for you. So in services, you can go and say, dye a dress for me. That also is done. We also do that. And the last one was biome here. In the shop, there was biome. So when you click on biome, and biome is also here on the main page. So when you click on biome, you get, oh, there's a error showing here. Let me go to the shop and check once. Yeah. I have to fix that. So here, so this size-wise things are there because we don't have one design in all sizes. It's very this thing. So suppose you choose large size. So when you go to large, you see all the items that we have in stock in large. Okay. And you can click and buy from here.
And these fabrics, once washed, do they shrink and all?
No. No shrinking happens, and wash care is just any liquid detergent you have to use. Any without no powder detergents. Liquid detergent is perfect. And yeah. And there is also on my Biome Instagram, there's a video that describes the wash care, how you should what you should do, what you should not. Maybe you can check that. And maybe I should put that video on my website as well. Yeah. So, and then there is a blog where some articles are there about different things. We are still making it. Community page is there where you can be part of a community, which if you're a leader or a pollinator, leader is for people who are professionals who are working with natural dye. So if you have already started selling or working in natural dye as an entrepreneur, we have a different community for that. We have a community for pollinator, which means you're a teacher. So you have to fill this form and we add you to a community. Then there's a consumer. So if as a consumer, you just want to be sustainable and you want to, you really believe in it and you want to help spread the message about this thing, you can be part of consumer community. And patron is there because if somebody wants to support this, you know, they say that like Preeti said, I'm happy to support you in Mumbai when you come. So maybe she can fill up the patron thing form, and which means that you can write that when you come to Mumbai, I'm ready to help you. Patron means someone who's ready to help because she really believes in the work. An artist, if you are practicing artist, like if you're a painter or a whatever, you are a practicing artist, you want to use natural colors in it. We teach you also, and then you can be part of this. So in this community, we want to have all the artists who are using natural mediums for using. Yeah. There's also an FAQ and all of that is there. So website is a place where you'll find a lot of things. Also, there is YouTube, which is also Color Ashram. You'll find it. YouTube channel, if you sit for 1 hour, you'll understand everything about us also and our work also. There are short videos, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, which have been made by us, and we constantly make this content. So YouTube, Instagram, and website. I think these 3 places, if you look into, you will get to learn a lot without calling us also, actually. Okay.
Thank you, Namrata.
Yeah.
That was
Thank
super
you. That was
duper
an awesome.
informative. Yeah,
Thank you
awesome,
so much for
informative,
having me and asking me lovely
Thank
questions,
you.
Mishti and Devashish
so
and whoever asked. Yeah.
yeah, so we would love to be connected with you. We will be, and
Yeah.
whenever we are in Mysore, for sure you'll see us.
Yeah.
By
Sure.
force, you will see us.
Yeah.
And
I
apart
just
from
wish that
that,
I have been able to generate your curiosity